The river will be familiar to all of you, not that view. This is the Selwyn Waikirikiri. It literally splits us in half as a valley. So we're a glacial valley. We farm the headwaters. There are a couple of properties above us, but we are basically the convergence of the true Selwyn. Just behind us in this picture is where the north branch of the Selwyn runs in out of 13 Mile Bush. So I often feel we get a little bit forgotten about in the Selwyn discussion because we are right at the top of the river and the area, but we do have quite a big part to play. The station was an early run picked up. My family's been there since 1973. My grandfather basically bought it for my father and uncle. Dad took the High Peak block when they split in the late 80s. I farm with my brother and sister and our families. We couldn't split the farm again. We'd sort of, on a stock unit basis, on a land area basis, we had a big block, but we were limited in our options going forward. So we had to think about the problem differently. How do we generate that income off the property and keep that asset in the family? So as a business, we are farming, tourism, apourism, and we're looking to directly export and also add value to our products on farm and domestic markets. So we can't extract the value that we can offshore that we can in New Zealand, and it is absolutely about trust. It's absolutely about building a story. As most farmers, we tend to hide behind the farm gate. We don't want to be a face to that story. It's becoming more and more apparent to me and critical that we actually have to put our faces out there. We can sell a nice view, but people want to know who is producing the product and get a personal touch to it. We are about 450 hives. We don't want to go and take on the big honey producers out there. We want to sell a story and be a boutique producer and sell honey that is more like a wine, that it's actually got a story behind it and a taste to it. It's not a mass-produced honey. I was fortunate to go to South America recently and very much got a first-hand impression that if we are reliant on commodities, we'll get eaten up. They're just so big and so much cheaper labour and so much more efficient because of scale that we really have to, in my mind, my personal opinion, brand and add value that way. So 2021, we had a big flood at the top of the river, and apparently that was a 1 in 200 year event. It had a really big effect on our business. COVID had just come in, so the tourism had just managed to gross over 50% of the business. We lost that within a matter of days when they shut the borders. Big effect on the farming and our sales. We'd managed to get our lamb sale through, but we hadn't sold weaner deer or cattle. So the net result was in that year, 2020, we were, I think, 70-something% down, 72 or 73% down on gross income. We were in a really tough position as a business. However, I quite like the fact that it was a journey of us getting off our knees and having to rebuild. Can't just put a pretty picture up and say this is what we do. We have to give people a warts and all view into our systems, and that's quite terrifying sometimes because from a farmer for the last 5 or 6 years, or probably the last decade, I felt quite under siege about what I do as a business without, I don't think, people fully understanding it. And so that's our job, is to make sure people do understand that there is a big cost to sustainability, that we, to use the old cliche, we farm in the green when we're in the black, when we're making money. We have to continually be able to do that. Otherwise, we just can't afford to do some of these projects that we want on farm. And there are headwinds. There are environmental headwinds. There are economic headwinds. It's the realisation that those are constants, but it's actually being able to tell consumers who are hopefully buying directly off us, actually being able to explain these stories and go, it's not always us at our best. We'll actually share the bad times with you as well. But if you identify with us, with our production systems, then hopefully if you make an emotional connection to where your food or fibre comes from, that you're hopefully willing to part what we think is the correct value for our products.